As a strength coach, one of the real big questions I get involves supplementation, and that involves using creatine as a performance enhancer in both the gym and on the field. A lot of athletes want to improve that in the gym experience to help them get better, faster, stronger for the field, so they want to take any extra thing they can get to kind of improve that athletic performance. So first we're going to take a look at what creatine does. Creatine is involved in a phosphocreatine system of ATP regeneration. Creatine phosphate helps to rephosphorylate ADP into ATP in a much faster, almost burst, less than 2 seconds type of high intensity training. So what extra creatine will do is it'll help replenish that. That energy system does not last very long, and phosphocreatine and creatine kinase tend to fall during high intensity workouts. So the more high intensity workout we go, those stores drop. It enables us to not be able to work out at that high intensity for very long. Any supplementation with creatine will help those two, creatine kinase and the phosphocreatines. Creatine phosphate will help them stay elevated. It'll help rephosphorylate ADP faster, and it'll make your stores of ATP go a little bit longer, helping you to work out a little bit longer and to continue that high intensity training, which in athletics is the goal. Again, why is this important in athletics? Well, Gersjen and Azamkhani reported in 2014 in their study that a large strength and muscle mass gains were seen with 6 weeks of creatine supplementation. Another study done by Antonio and Sacconi in 2013 also shared that when creatine is taken both pre and post-workout, or either one, that body composition changes were made. More changes were made post with creatine supplementation, but the point being that creatine supplementation does, in fact, lead to a better body composition. These two things are very important in the realm of athletics because most athletes want to improve their body composition, whether that be gaining of muscle or losing of fat or both at the same time. The longer workouts, as we talked about earlier, being able to work out longer with less burnout due to the increase in creatine and the increase in the efficiency of the phosphocreatine system does help with that. Lets the athlete work out a little bit longer. It's also very important in weight loss sports, or weight controlled sports, I should say. Wrestling, Olympic weightlifting, anything that's put into a weight class, an athlete will have a certain goal to stay within that weight class. Should they have to lose weight for it and they have to maintain that caloric deficit to try and reach that weight, creatine supplementation has been big for them due to the fact that without those calories to work out on, there's not a whole lot of energy available in the system. The creatine phosphate system will help be replenished by the excess of creatine stores, and it'll let the athlete work out a little bit longer than they otherwise would have on that caloric deficit. So it's a big help for them. Like I said, any lean tissue gains, any muscle mass gains, those are really the goals of athletics to improve that performance. Another major thing over the past years with creatine has been the factor of, is it safe? Every supplement comes with, the warning label and a lot of a suspicion around it. Creatine has a couple side effects. The first one, it can dehydrate you due to the fact that the side effects is to pull water into the muscle. This leads to some water weight gains, which may be undesirable to some athletes and desirable to some other ones, depending on how their scope of their training is. But water needs to be consumed for sure while taking creatine to ensure that dehydration and the muscle taking that water does not become a problem for any other energy system. Another thing is that Kim and colleagues in 2011 did show that heavy load creatine, and in this study we're talking above 21 grams per day, does lead to some methylamine and formaldehyde in the urine. Not exactly items that we want to be in our body in excess. This problem was solved, or at least spread out, by not going with quite as heavy of a load, as well as spreading out that load to a little bit of a longer duration. Another study, Galano and colleagues looked at other studies of creatine safety in 2012 and reported that it has a very excellent safety profile. Most of these studies are mostly on the short term because of how new creatine is, with its increase in popularity among a lot of athletic populations, and a lot of recreational athletes tend to make it their supplement of choice. In regards to pro athletics, there are creatines that are NSF certified, which is a testing party for supplements to make sure that there is nothing illegal or wrong in those products that are going to really hurt the athlete or make them fail one of their drug tests that are much too recent during the season for them to want to fail. So when you're looking at creatine, it does have a good safety profile. However, one of the limitations of that is that most of the studies have been done on the short term. Further studies, as creatine continues to increase in popularity, will tend to look at a little bit of the longer term effects of the supplementation due to people having taken it for much longer. When you look at any supplementation or any extra supplement or anything you're adding to your diet to help you, you always want to make sure that the diet is in check first. So the first thing we're going to do with any athlete, or that we want you to do, is to make sure that our diet doesn't have any holes in it from the beginning. If the diet is well maintained and properly taken care of with all the macros, all the vitamins and minerals that we need in a daily life for even sitting around or for high intensity exercise and athletics, then the supplementation will not need to be there. We don't want to take something just for the sake of taking it. We want to take something only if there's a massive hole in the diet and it's prescribed by someone who can see this hole and tell it's going to be beneficial to us and way outweigh any harm it could do. With creatine, long term, the jury's still out a little bit. So one thing we want to make sure with all of our athletes is to make sure that protein consumption and the rest of their diet is already taken care of before we even look at any type of additional supplementation.